Chapter 5. Ellie. My parents discouraged me from playing sports from a very young age. I'm not really sure how it happened. Lydia played soccer and was a cheerleader. She picks up complicated routines after seeing them a few times. Meanwhile, my parents kept me far from any sport where I could get injured. I begged them to let me play soccer along with Lydia. They relented, and I spent one practice with them before they pulled me out. In 1 short hour I had skinned both knees, knocked out a tooth, thankfully a baby tooth, and managed to faceplant hard enough to get a bloody nose. The nose and the tooth were separate incidents. After that, they said I could run on flat surfaces and possibly play ping pong. Since I had no interest in ping pong, I stuck to running and books. Not that I minded too much. Books were my real passion. I missed the camaraderie Lydia had with her teammates and later her squad, but I didn't really miss the physical activity. Except for dancing. Dance class was never an option for me. By the time I knew it was something I wanted to learn, it had been ingrained in me that I was uncoordinated and clumsy. So I never mentioned it. I would watch ballroom competitions with envy and try to learn the steps in my bedroom. After a broken lamp and an embarrassing excuse, I stopped even that. I'm not sure what possessed me to ask Charlie for dance classes this year. But in a way, I think of this as a last chance. Irina is one of the best dance instructors there is. If she can't teach me, then this might be a dream I will never see come through. Saturday comes around again, and I do my best to avoid the large muscular man standing in the middle of the room with Stacy draped on his arm. Good morning. I smile at Michael, my partner for these classes. Morning, he says in a gruff voice, and I swallow. He wasn't too happy with my performance last week, and I think he wishes he would have any other partner but me. I try not to let it get to me. I've been practicing the steps in my bedroom, paranoid that Lydia would walk in on me and laugh. Truthfully, I'd rather she walked in on me masturbating. Good to see you all, Irina says as she walks in. She has a large presence. I can see her owning any floor she wants to dance on. This week we will learn the foxtrot. All you need to remember is slow, slow, quick, quick. I groan. We spent the first 2 weeks learning the basics of the waltz. How to hold our hands, how to keep our heads up and not to look at our feet. Somehow I thought we'd continue with the same steps. I had hoped we would, as I still haven't nailed them. Great, Michael mutters under his breath as we take our positions. I hope you don't suck so hard at this. At least I try, I say, and keep my spine straight. Barely, he scoffs. I inhale. Picking a fight isn't going to help me learn. And I need to get along with Michael, as this class will go on until Christmas. The music fills the room, and Irina gives us instructions. I listen to her voice as I move my feet. Michael is rigid in front of me. He avoids looking at me as he pushes me this way and that. I scurry on my feet, trying to find a balance between following the slow, slow, quick, quick, and just getting out of his way. There is a brief pause where Irina again shows the steps and compliments the engaged couple. I think the guy would rather fight a dragon than disappoint his fiancée. I'm sure they must have been practicing at home. We pick it up again, and I'm trying, like really trying, to follow my partner's lead. I keep counting in my head, but he turns and moves in directions I'm not expecting, throwing me off. I try closing my eyes to let him guide me, but as he steps forward, so do I bump into him and my foot comes down hard on his toes. Really? He is thundering. Is it really that hard to follow a few simple directions? Maybe it would be easier if you weren't all over the place. I grit my teeth and suppress the urge to yell and swear at him. Irina shows up next to us. Perhaps we try again, she says and adjusts our grip. At least try this time, Michael says, and I want to bash his head in. Irina shows me the steps again, and moves by our side as we pick up the tempo of the music. My eyes glance over at D. From what I can tell, he's not doing much better. Only his partner doesn't yell at him. She just bats her eyes and runs her hand up his arm. Arms that I wouldn't mind holding on to. I shake my head and mess up another step. I need to focus. Irina soon leaves us to our fate, and I try to retain the knowledge that seems to seep out of her, but it only takes a few more songs before I'm back to being a stumbling mess. Michael spins us around suddenly. I'm not prepared at all and trip over my own feet. As I reach for him to keep my balance, he steps back and lets me fall. I land with a thud on my ass. The wind knocks out of me as I fall back. Are you serious? Michael yells. How am I supposed to learn when you can't even stay on your feet? I suck in a breath and glance around the room. Everyone is looking at us. At me. Maybe if you didn't spin me around like I'm on wheels, I wouldn't fall. He still hasn't offered me a hand. Not that I would take it, but I should at least have the option of refusing it. You're useless. You lead-footed cow. I gasp.
What did you just call me?
I struggle to my feet. I don't think that's what lead-footed means, Peter, the engaged man says helpfully. Listen. Oh gods. I want to hide my face or run away or do something. Dee has left his partner and is approaching us. It's hardly her fault she fell. You're supposed to be leading. He sounds so calm, so sure of himself. And he's so tall when he comes closer. Let's all calm down. Irina has turned off the music and is stepping in. It takes some time to learn the foxtrot. I'm sure we'll all have it down in a few hours. I don't want to have it down in a few hours. Michael's face is red. I already have it down. I want to move on to something more than the basics. You're not that great, I mutter. With my arms crossed in front of me, I'm hoping to give off a confident vibe. But this is bringing up old memories of never being good enough to play sports. Of being sidelined while Lydia partied with the cheerleaders. Michael turns to me and yells in my face. Shut up, you clumsy cow. You're worthless and a horrible partner. This class is not for you. You should be in a class for stupid people. It doesn't matter that he's bad at insults, they still cut deep. My resolve is leaving me, and I drop my arms to my sides. To my horror, tears well up and there is a lump in my throat. I don't wait around until I cry in front of everyone. My legs are heavy as I force myself to walk, not run, out of the room. There's a small seating area at the end of the hallway. It's nice and private, and I lean against the window as the tears force their way up and start rolling down my cheeks. I sob quietly, telling myself that it doesn't matter. His opinion doesn't matter. But my mind goes back to the slumber party Lydia had with her teammates. The one where they shut the door on me. I listened from the other room to their laughter, as I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself I didn't care. I straighten and take a few deep breaths. The class is almost over, and I'm tempted to stay in this weird little room until everyone is gone. No one comes back here. I only found it because I was looking for the bathroom a couple of weeks ago. I close my eyes. This is not who I am. I don't run off and cry. I deal with problems head on. A hand lands on my shoulder and I jump. Spinning around, I inhale sharply when I'm face to face with D. He slowly lowers his hand to his pocket and stares at my face. I focus on his chest and the thin white t-shirt that covers the muscles underneath.
What do you want?
I ask, wiping my cheeks and wishing my voice was a bit more steady. I wanted to see how you were. He shrugs, still with his hands in his pocket, and the way his arms tense and the muscles play ignites something inside me. I'm fine. I refuse to meet his eyes. He moves closer, and I do my best not to inhale the scent of Christmas that engulfs him. My mouth is dry and I swallow. His hand reaches up and with a gentle finger, he raises my chin so I'm forced to look at him. I don't think you are. There's a depth in his eyes I haven't seen before. Something that enters me and burrows down to my toes. His eyes flicker to my mouth and I blink. Why do you care? I ask, clenching my fists for strength.
You think I'm a mess anyway.
I raise an eyebrow and try to act more confident than I feel. He groans. I shouldn't have said that. But in my defense, you weren't supposed to hear it. I pull away from his hand.
As if that makes it any better.
Turning away, I look out the window again. I need a distraction. Just leave. I can't deal with you right now. Listen, he hesitates and I look back over my shoulder. His muscles make me weak as he pulls a hand through his hair. That guy in there is an ass. I don't know what his problem is, but he shouldn't have said those things to you. I try to stop the sound that erupts, but the scoff breaks free.
As if you're any better.
He steps closer just as I turn to him again. His body is warm and so close I could press against him if I lean forward. For a heartbeat, I'm tempted to do just that. But I shake my head. This close, I have to lean my head back to see his face. He's looking down at my lips again. When he raises a hand and uses his thumb to wipe away a tear, my stomach flips. His scent is comfortable. Safe. I want to disappear into it, and believe I have all the happy memories it promises. His hand lingers and I reach up to swipe it away. Somehow, I end up holding on to it instead. My breathing is labored, and his eyes on my lips are drawing me in. Without my consent, my feet move closer. It's as if holding his hand is electrifying me, binding me to him. And I know that if I don't put a stop to this, I will get burned. The tip of his tongue runs across his lips and I'm fascinated. I tilt my face toward his. He bends down, coming closer. My stomach lurches and pulls in on itself. His other hand lands on my waist, holding me closer. There you are. Irina's voice cuts through the tension, and I back away. There's a flash of disappointment on Dee's face, and I wonder if he sees that on mine as well. Not being able to breathe as he watches me, I turn to the window. I wanted to see if everything was all right. Irina sounds hesitant, as if she knows she interrupted something. Yup, I say and push past Dee, everything is fine. I'll see you next week. I don't wait for an answer. But I'm grateful when Irina asks something of Dee and detains him long enough for me to grab my things and run down the stairs. What the fuck was that? Were we about to kiss? Would he have kissed me if Irina hadn't found us? I practically run down the street to get away from him. No, I must have imagined it. Dee would never kiss me. Right.